Arjun had never known his mother. She had died giving birth to him, or so his father had always said. Yet, even in death, she was a shadow over his life, a presence he could never quite shake. His father never spoke of her beyond those few words. His grief wrapped around him like armor. Their house, too big and too empty, seemed to hold secrets in its locked doors and whispering dark corners. On the night of Arjun's 18th birthday, his father sat him down. His face was ashen, his fingers curled tightly around a single, rusted key. His hands trembled as he placed it in Arjun's palm. "This is for the basement," his father said, his voice brittle as old paper. "Go down, and you'll understand." Arjun hesitated. The basement had always been forbidden, a place of unseen things. His father's eyes shone with something too complex to name: fear, sorrow, regret. But he said nothing more. The key was cold in Arjun's grip as he descended the creaking stairs. The air thickened around him, suffocating, damp, and laced with a sickly sweet rot that made his stomach twist. Shadows stretched unnaturally across the stone walls, shifting in the flickering light of the bare bulb overhead. And then he saw it. At the far end of the room stood a door he had never seen before. Old, wooden, wrong. Something scratched from the other side, slow and deliberate. A chill slithered down his spine. His breath shuddered as he turned the key in the lock. The door groaned open. In the darkness beyond, a woman sat on the cold, damp floor. Her body was impossibly thin, her skin stretched tight and gray over brittle bones. Her tangled hair fell in thick, matted ropes around her face. But it was her fingers, too long, too sharp, that made his pulse thunder in his ears. And then she smiled. "My son," she whispered, voice cracked and hollow. Arjun's body locked in place. This was a light. It had to be. His mother was dead, had been for 18 years. He had never known her, never seen her, but still, something deep in his bones twisted, something primal and wrong. She tilted her head. Crack. Her neck bent at an unnatural angle, her eyes gleaming in the dim light. "Your father lied to you," she murmured. "He kept us apart." Arjun stumbled back, his heartbeat roaring in his ears. "No," he choked. "You can't be." A slow, scraping sound filled the room. The walls groaned as something, no, many things, shifted within them. Fingers, pale and writhing, pushed through the cracks, clawing, grasping, reaching for him. The woman stood, her limbs bending in ways they shouldn't. Her jaw unhinged with a grotesque pop, revealing a gaping black maw lined with rows of rotting teeth. "Come here," she cooed, her voice wrapping around him like silk and razor wire. "Let me hold you. Just once." The walls shuddered. The fingers dug into his skin, pulling him closer. He fought, thrashed, but they were stronger. His scream ripped through the house. Upstairs, his father sat in his chair, his face buried in his hands. He heard the cries, sharp, terrified, fading. Just as he had heard them before. Just as he had heard his wife's. 18 years ago. And then, silence. The house settled once more, its secrets buried beneath the floorboards. But deep in the basement, if you pressed your ear against the door, you could still hear it. A mother's whisper. Calling for her child. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon. Thanks for watching.